didn't say get quiet yet. Still talk for a minute. It's all good.
Join us. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Happy Sunday. Good to see everyone on this beautiful evening that we joined together to make Havdalah. As according to Jewish law, you can make Havdalah up till Tuesday morning. Shabbat ended last night at sunset. If you haven't had a chance to make Havdalah yet, you can still do it. And that's something we always do as a tradition at Shir Shalom as a part of our youth group and the Fruman Youth Program. And what's special for us is we have 18 graduates, 16 of you here, or 16 on the Bima tonight, that we get to honor. And honestly, this is, for us rabbis and Cantor, one of our proudest nights of the year, every year, especially with these amazing children who some of you know very well. But it's really great that we also honor our teachers tonight, and so many of our teachers are here, as well as grandparents who are here, and aunts and uncles and friends that get to celebrate our youth tonight. So it's a really special service. We have Bailey Mingus and Ella Blank helping song lead with Cantor, and they help us every Sunday morning at SHORESH and are a part of her music crew. It's great they're here on the Bima tonight too. So enjoy the service. Special one of reflection for our youth, our seniors who are about to graduate. Hopefully it's one of reflection for all of you too. Whether you're here just to look at your older peers and see what they've accomplished, or you're here as a proud parent or a grandparent and get to experience that as well. Because it's a night of nachas, truly, of joy, over kinder and what they've accomplished. So let's enjoy that together as we experience this beautiful evening.
Childhood was for fantasies, for nursery rhymes and toys. The world was much too busy to understand small girls and boys. As I grew up, I came to learn that life was not a game, that heroes were just people that we called another name. us time, give us strength, give us life.
At the end of each Shabbat, the Jewish people celebrate a ceremony called Havdalah. Havdalah means separation. We learned that even though this was traditionally done on Saturday night, we can do up to Tuesday morning. And so for the past 4 years, at the end of most of our Furman Youth Program Sunday night schools, we conclude our special time together with a Havdalah ceremony. As we finish our last Sunday night school, we finish with our last Havdalah ceremony.
We believe that to live life to its fullest, we have to learn how to make each day unique. The infant does not know one day from the next. As we grow, we realize that life is a series of separations. As we look back on the beauty of Shabbat, our formal Jewish education, and the chance it has given us to celebrate the high points of our lives, so we must formally separate Shabbat from the rest of the week and high school from what the future holds.
We read responsively. God is my help. My trust is in the eternal, and I will not be afraid. God is my strength, the source of my spirit. With joy we draw the water of understanding from the wells of our experience. The eternal brings us help with the blessings and goodness. Give us light and joy, gladness and goodness. Let us make good memories in our lives. We lift up the cup to rejoice in your saving power and call out your name in praise.
The Havdalah ritual begins with fire. With this braided candle, the Jewish people suggested fire is the symbol of civilization, humans' ability to conquer nature. This is why the ancients of our faith believed that fire was the first invention after the creation of the world. So on this Sunday night, we reenact that first night after the creation of the world.
The candle's double wick reminds us that all qualities are praised. We have the power to create many different fires, some useful and others are destructive. Let the fire we kindle this week be holy. Let it bright light, warmth, and diligent to all humanity. For the past 13 years, our teachers have taught us to do these things as they have brought more light into our worlds. Because of this, we honor our teachers tonight. We would like to recognize first all those who dedicated their Sunday mornings, afternoons, and evenings to teaching us. If you're here, please stand and remain standing so we may recognize you.
In pre-K, Julie Busel.
In kindergarten, Julie Bussell.
In first grade, Corey Esterline and Jody Lesser.
In second grade, Patty Carey and Janet Kelly.
In third grade, Robin Tarno and Erin Wooski.
In fourth grade, Eric Mintz, Richard Scheck, Lindsay Acker, Aaron Redsnick, Stephanie Strunk, and Logan Hepner.
In fifth grade, Danielle DePriest, Allison Gold, Pam Kornfeld, Esty Faber, Shlomi Hamer, Carly Rosen, and Stephanie Strunk.
In sixth grade, Jeff Brockman, Allie Kramer, Stephanie August Strunk, Ellie Farber Bennett, Lynn Goldberg, and Shlomi Hammer.
In seventh grade, Rima Haikin, Acha Torah, Alia Alzam, Jeff Brockman, Hannah Gordon, Aaron Kloss, Allie Kramer, Victoria Lechner, Nathan Moskowitz, Seth Rosen, Sarah Scheck.
In eighth grade, Allie Kramer, Jeremy Brown, Alia Alazam. In high school, Ali Ahazam, Yuval Avarim, Jeremy Brown, Zoe Kaufman, Ali Kramer, Michal Newman, Tamar Schnitzer, Itai Schwartz, and Katie Tobias.
And our associate directors, Missy Borman, Dr. Cheryl Blau, Sarah Allen, Andy Lieberman, and Alyssa Burke. We also want to honor the teachers and staff who continue to bring light into our world, who are with us and our fellow students during this past year. As we call your name, please join our other teachers in standing.
Colleen Altman, Ellie Barnett, Julie Bussell, Gary Cooper, Carly Eisen, Julie Flashner.
Elizabeth Garbiel, Lynn Goldberg, Gabe Hessenthaler, Joe Liebson, Mindy Nathan.
Mikal Newman, Lori Nosenchuk, Alexis Redmond, Miriam Schloss, Amy Seidman.
David Solomon, Hannah Strasburger, Stephanie Strunk, Robert Tarnow, Rebecca Tauber, and Sydney Zate. Please join us in thanking this incredible group of people. Thank you.
We bless wine at this Havdalah service as a symbol of life and happiness. As wine represents sweetness, so with understanding and care of others can we see beyond the ugliness and misery which stain our world. As we bless this wine, so may we be willing to bring sweetness into the lives. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who creates the fruit of the wine.
The spices we smell symbolize the spiritual treasure of Shabbat. We sniff a pleasant fragrance to refresh our soul, even when we know Shabbat is over. It is a reminder that each sense we possess is a pathway to the soul. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei besavim. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who creates varied spices.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei me'orei ha'esh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei me'orei ha'esh.
Clearly, there was one part we didn't rehearse beforehand. But we've been doing it every Sunday night, so. And I promise you, they have learned lots of great things during these last 12 years. And the beauty is that we gave our seniors an opportunity to be able to share some of those things, some reflections of their time here at Temple as part of our education program, as part of different trips that we did as well. And so we have a number of seniors who agreed to share some reflections tonight. And so we'll introduce them in small groups so that you can know who they are as we're going through. And so we begin with Amanda Acey, who will be followed by Ella Blank.
When I was finishing up 8th grade and my mom was trying to get me to join SISTE, she told me, "You get to eat free dinner and talk about social issues. Those are your favorite things." I was sold. One of my favorite things about SISTE is how we engage with social action. The pursuit of justice is a core Jewish value and a core part of my identity. We talk about hard issues and try to hold space for everyone to learn and be heard. Then we take that knowledge out in the world and try to help other people. Some of my fondest memories of SISTE are participating in Tikkun Olamathon. I learned that collective action is the best way to make a difference. I feel more confident in myself as a leader because of the discussions and debates that we engage with every Sunday night. Even when I held an opinion that differed from the majority in the room, I didn't feel judged or othered. This is because at the end of the day, we all hold respect and love for one another. I always felt affirmed by my rabbis, SISTE staff, and other members of SISTE. When I go off to college next year, I hope to continue engaging with others the same way I did here, with compassion, understanding, and solidarity. Thank you.
Before I share a story, I have a few thank yous. To Rabbi Mike, Rabbi Daniel, Cantor Penny, Katie, Zoe, and Michal, thank you for teaching me, making music with me, and always remembering to have a little fun. I will miss my Sundays at Temple and the environment you've created. To my fellow SISTEites, especially the seniors, it has been a wild ride. There's nobody else I would want to share the memories of these past 4 years with. And finally, to my family, thank you for raising me in a home where Judaism is valued. Thank you for supporting me, even when I definitely needed more practice on the guitar. And thank you for all of your time, help, and love. On December 22nd, 2022, I looked out the airplane window into the sunshine. The Mediterranean Sea washed up onto the sandy beaches of Tel Aviv, the stone buildings of Jaffa in the distance. I was finally in Israel. Like my ancestors, I wandered in the desert with my family and temple community. On our last day in the south, we climbed Mount Masada. Standing on the summit, we listened to Benny and his enthusiastic storytelling as thunder and lightning poured down. I was terrified. This was not the vacation weather I imagined. We piled onto bus Sof Sof and drove towards the Dead Sea. Coming around a bend and stopping on a bridge, we pulled over to the side of the road. Until I stepped off the bus, I didn't appreciate the magnitude of water flowing under us from the rocky wall stories above. Despite our far from picture-perfect weather, I was fortunate enough to see a flash flood, such a rarity in Israel, the people hunt for them after storms. Bus Sof Sof was lucky. Our next stop was the Dead Sea. Shivering as we ran down the salty beach through the rain, I covered myself in mud and stepped into the water. I floated with my family and SISTE friends, and after soaking in the moment, we all ran inside to warm up. Once we were finally dry, the bus took off only to make another stop along the side of the road. The storm had ended, the sun was out, and a gorgeous rainbow spanned the mountainous overlook of the Dead Sea. Our patience was worth it. The view was breathtaking. In this moment, I felt more connected to my Judaism than ever before. Throughout the loneliness of the pandemic, SISTE connected me with my friends. Throughout the hecticness of the school year, SHORESH provided a routine. Throughout the storm of life, Judaism is my rainbow, reminding me that good things come to those who are optimistic, always searching for and creating good in the world. Standing before the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, on a day full of unexpected beauty, surrounded by my people, I felt like I was where I was meant to be, where I belonged. Although I hope to be lucky enough to travel back to Israel, my first trip will always be the most meaningful because of the Temple Shalom community. Thank you.
Our next seniors who would like to share some words are Izzy Semino and Sophia Goralnik, and then Sam Melder.
When I reflect on 13 years of learning and growing at Temple Shir Shalom, the most apparent thought that comes to my mind is how lucky I am to have been part of such a unique and special community. We really are unlike any other temple in the best way possible, and I want to take a moment to point out some special attributes that have greatly impacted my life and will stick with me post-graduation. First of all, we have Rabbi Mike and Rabbi Dan, which it's safe to say nobody else can claim. We have two of the most supportive, intelligent rabbis who go beyond just teaching us Hebrew in the holidays. We have rabbis who actually care about us, our lives, our ideas, our needs, and our dietary restrictions. The way they always give 100% energy when dressing up for Purim, walking miles through Washington, D.C., and having way too much fun in the Israeli desert gas stations liven up every moment and create lifelong memories. I have always felt welcomed by and important to them, which has kept me coming back to Temple again and again. We also have one of the strongest and most tight-knit communities I've ever seen. Our class's time together didn't just end at mitzvah age, which is pretty clear by the amazing turnout we have tonight. Instead of just going our separate ways after 6th grade, our group has continued to grow together and form bonds through Madrahim, Machonakim, and Sisti, which is completely unique to our temple. No other temple has such active programming and gives as many opportunities to make connections with other Jewish youth. We continue to return year after year, not necessarily because we feel compelled by higher power, but because we have all formed relationships with this place and one another. Temple has always been a safe place to be ourselves, whether in a global pandemic online, during attacks on Israel and in our area, or just on a bad day when we need each other to talk to. I feel so lucky to be graduating with a group of kids that I know I can turn to, and I know Shir Shalom will always be a home to me. So thank you to Rabbi Mike and Rabbi Dan, who have done amazing in keeping us engaged and entertained while learning. Thank you to the Sisti board for trusting me as your president and making this year the best ever. Thank you to the senior class for the fun times and some of the best friendships that go far beyond this bima. And most importantly, thank you to the Shir Shalom community for giving my class and I a place like no other to find ourselves and be family.
Although this year and the last couple of weeks have carried many laughs for my fellow seniors, I would like to take a moment to talk about and recognize many of the significant firsts I've had while being a part of Temple Shir Shalom. SHORESH was my first ever paid job and the first time I was ever given the significant responsibility of watching over other people's children. It was the first time I was ever a role model for someone and the first time I ever realized that people look up to me, although maybe not physically. My bat mitzvah was my first large Jewish life cycle event, and confirmation was the first time I ever made a choice to willingly participate in said life cycle events. Sisti was the first group I was a part of that I was able to interact with during COVID. Being able to see my friends here was the highlight of my week back then, and still is now. The first I've had on our Sisti trips are something straight out of a fever dream. The first group I ever traveled with that ever genuinely lost someone, don't worry, we found her. The first time I watched a drunk man try to fight a group of teenagers. Again, don't worry, Jeremy fought him off. The first time I ever genuinely broke a curfew. I'm sorry, Rabbi. And the first and last time I ever ate at Skyline Chili. We have now had our last Shoresh, last Sisti trip, and last Sisti ever. Had these events happened anywhere else, I know they would not have been nearly as special. From the friends I've made to the moments I've had here, I wouldn't have done it anywhere else. I know the future will have many firsts and lasts, but I'll always look back on these years fondly. Thank you, Rabbi and Katie and Alia and Cantor and Michal and everyone else I forgot.
As my dad loves to remind me, on my very first day of Sunday morning school, I fell asleep in class. So I guess you could say there's always a low point. You can always start somewhere. And I think we've come a very long way since my very first day of Sunday school. Sisti has really been a great place where everyone can come that you might not see on a weekly basis at school and hang out, and you get to talk about not just topics that are happening in your local community, but that are happening on a global basis all around the world. And everyone has a voice, and everyone gets to speak and be heard. And it's very nice to have that every single Sunday to fall back on, even if nothing else in the week is going great. Thank you, rabbis. Thank you, my parents. And thank you, Katie, for an amazing year.
And our final two seniors to share this evening will be Maddie Pittler and Abby Sampson.
So I started coming to Shir Shalom in first or second grade, and at that point, I did not want to come. My parents forced me, but they also helped me by going to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. We always got our morning munchkins and orange juice and bagels on the way to help us make us feel happier. But along the way, I realized that my Jewish education was important to me and creating friends. Something that's been impactful and meaningful is every year at the Tikkun Olam-a-thon, we've done such amazing things, and I've always enjoyed them. The temple trips have always been something that have been something that I've remembered forever, whether it's losing Amanda or the plays that we go to. They're always something I enjoy, and I will always and these are all friends I've made. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. When I was in 5th grade, my parents switched our family to Shir Shalom, and that is something I will always be incredibly grateful for. As soon as I entered the Shir Shalom environment, Rabbi Dan, Rabbi Mike, and all of the staff welcomed me with open arms, and I quickly fell into the rhythm. Fast forward 8 years, and I am now graduating next to my very favorite people in the world. For the past 4 years, Sisti has given me something to look forward to every Sunday night, and boy, did I look forward to Sunday nights. While Sisti trips were absolutely amazing, and we are always reminiscing about our memories from them, in my opinion, the most special moments within Sisti were the small ones. From pushing all of the tables together at dinner to create a mega table, to chatting with Rabbi Mike about any and all Taylor Swift updates, to singing at Havdalah with our arms around one another, I have memories from Sisti that will last me a lifetime. Last summer, I was fortunate enough to go on teen mission and be on the Shir Shalom bus falafel. Traveling through Israel with Rabbi Mike, Rabbi Dan, and my friends from Sisti was absolutely life-changing and only reinforced how supportive the Sisti environment is. Whether it was Rabbi Dan pushing me to challenge myself by choice when I was terrified to rappel down Mitzvah Ramon, or Rabbi Mike checking in on me constantly when I had COVID and had to quarantine, or my friends and I cheering each other on during our long, hot, and difficult hikes, the Sisti community is, and always has been, the most supporting, welcoming, and accepting group of people. I don't think I am able to fully articulate what Sisti has meant to me, but I know that because of it, I have created incredible friendships, grown into my Jewish identity, stayed informed about current Jewish events, and became even more passionate about my place in the Jewish community. I owe so much to Sisti and the lessons it has taught me over the past 4 years, and I am honestly in extreme denial that I am leaving, even though I am standing here at graduation. I want to thank Rabbi Mike and Rabbi Dan for everything they have done for me and for Sisti over the past 4 years. It has been such a pleasure to spend my Sunday nights with you. I also want to thank Katie Tobias for all of the hard work she has put into making this year a success. Sisti would not have been the same without you. Finally, I would like to thank Michal and Zoe for making this Sisti the most fun year of all. It was so nice to meet you guys, and I hope that we continue to stay in touch. I have so much love for Sisti and everyone in it, and I am so sad to be leaving, but I'm excited for this new chapter of our lives. Thank you all for everything.
And so in order to honor our seniors now, thank you for the 7 of you who wanted to share, but we call upon Terry Cooper, one of the vice presidents of our congregation, and Elisa Burke, the associate director of our programs here at SHORESH and Sisti, and Katie Tobias, our youth engagement director.
Amanda Acey, child of Dr. Alicia and Adam Acey. Ella Blank, child of Jamie and Dr. Howard Blank. Evan Brode, child of Ashley and Jordan Brode. Isabella Semino, child of Alyssa and Noel Semino. Wiley Ferris, child of Anita Solomon and John Ferris. Sophia Gorelnik, child of Dr. Susan and David Gorelnik. Ethan Horn, child of Anne and Samuel Horn. Sam Melder, child of Barry and Eric Melder. Eden Mintz, child of Michelle and Dr. Eric Mintz. Madeline Pittler, child of Lori Pittler and Randall Pittler. Abigail Sampson, child of Tammy and Daniel Sampson. Rebecca Seligman, child of Angie and Ron Seligman. Jacob Shapiro, child of Dr. Laney and Dr. Michael Shapiro. Aiden Shoresh, child of Dr. Betty Chu and Navot Shoresh. Aaron Weiskopf, child of Lisa and Michael Weiskopf. Aiden Weissman, child of Jacqueline Weissman and David Weissman.
So listening to you guys, there's a word that comes to mind for me. It's a Yiddish word, nachas. Means pride. And oftentimes we talk about that and use these words at different points in people's lives. As some of your parents stood under the chuppah with Rabbi Mike and Rabbi Schwartz, the elder. They talked about dreams that parents have. Oftentimes it's just having children. But as soon as they have them, they start to think about other moments. One of those moments is graduation like this. For us as your rabbis, Cantor, Sisti team, Temple family, we're proud of each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. An incredible group that, as we've been together, some of you since preschool, some of you since 5th grade, most of you somewhere in between, that we've learned a lot from you. You've pushed us in great ways to make Temple better, to make our program better, to make Sisti better. There's a saying, Mikol Tamidai Chistalti, from every student I have learned. And it's so true for each and every one of you, for us. That, as we talked about, or as you mentioned, COVID, you guys were the ones that inspired us to say, well, let's figure out a way to still get together. Whether it was a camping trip, so we could do some sort of retreat together and stay warm together, some of us, or being together on Sunday nights, where you guys were here in freezing weather, windy weather, rainy weather. It didn't matter what it was, but you showed that this was important to you guys as a community, to be here, to learn with each other, to push each other, to discuss with each other. You guys have created so many memories for us that, as you mentioned, those trips that you had, the retreats that we went on, Sunday nights, Sunday mornings, Madrachim programs, that we've got incredible memories of each and every one of you. Where you took us, ways that you pushed us in great ways, inspired us. And we see it on Sunday evenings, for those of you that are here. We see it on Sunday mornings, for those of you that help in classes. People look at you, and they're inspired by you. They want to be like you guys, because you are incredible role models. And it means a lot to each of us that you're standing here today, that you guys have dedicated your Sunday nights to be with us, to be together as a community and to strengthen our community. There's a tradition that we have something known as a siyum, some sort of culminating experience celebration at the end of a course of study. And that's what tonight is. It's a culmination of a course of study. But the other tradition is that it starts the next chapter and that there's more to come. And so our congregation, our board of directors, has presented you guys with a number of gifts. In your hands, you have something called Jewish Wisdom. It's not a book, as you're holding it there, that we expect you to read from cover to cover. But the idea of that book is that you find something that you're interested in, that you want to explore a little bit more, and it's got more information to be able to read. 2 pages worth. Something to keep and just learn and continue to have fun with as you're going. But we also have another gift for each of you, which is that, as you know, on Sunday nights, we conclude with Havdalah. And we want you to continue to be able to do that and to remember these wonderful times that we've had. And so we have a special Havdalah set for each of you from Israel as well. You'll be able to take with you and travel with you, and that you'll be able to use as well. And so our hope is that it reminds you of these wonderful moments, but the people that are standing around you, the relationships that each one of you has built, and the impact that you have on your community and our world, and that you always use it for good.
There's moments in life that we like to pause to make sure we're soaking in what matters most to us. Because in the harried nature of what we do, too often we run through it and forget to take a break and recognize what's right before us. So one, I hope your parents are taking that break now, as I'm sure many of them are sort of bewildered that you're about to leave their nest and begin this next journey in life, wherever it takes you. And so we create this so that they are forced to pause and see the blessing that you are, that you've always been, and that you bring to their lives. But it's also a part of what it means to be engaged in a community, to be connected with others, to feel the blessings of people who are with you, and to recognize how special that is. I think too often we sort of take for granted our Sunday night experience, our Shoresh, our temple family, what we get to do all the time. The opportunity to go to Israel, whether as families or as teens, and we're just lucky. But we need to pause to say, these are all truly blessings that we've experienced, that they are privileges in our life that you have had and that we've been a part of with you. And for us to see you feel that and recognize that and teach the community that, it's our mic drop. Our job is done. We feel like nothing else really matters because we invest the time because of our love for our people and for the future. So when we see children who, many of whom we've known almost your entire life, become who you are tonight, who you've always been, articulating that and feeling that and sharing that and laughing and loving and exuding joy, that's what it's all about. So that you know you always have a home. And yes, we like to go up to college campuses and take you out to lunch and to share with you. And no, we can't buy you a beer until you're 21. Not going to say who I was talking to. But the reality of that connection can be anywhere we find ourselves. Anywhere we find the people that we spent this time with and created these memories with. So whether it's on a college campus or it's when we're back home or it's when we're in Israel or it's wherever our paths cross, we have something that we call these invisible lines of connection that will always be threaded together, that make us this special community, something that's holy that you've been a part of. And so it's our blessing that we get to be encircled by you in this moment. But what we say is that only God can bless. What we hope is that through our connections, through the magic we create, maybe we bring God a little more into our world. And so at this time, I ask Cantor to lead us as we ask God to bless you in this moment. May God bless you. May God protect you.
May God shine upon you. And may God shine through you.
May God always be a part of who we are. All the connections that we feel, all the blessings that are ours to enjoy. Most of all, may God bless us with gesund, with health, with nachas from kinder, with joy from children that you give to your parents and grandparents, to your rabbis. May you feel that in your lives as well. May a parnasa success, whatever you do, wherever your feet take you, whatever paths you pursue. Most of all, may you have shalom, may you have peace. Peace in your heart, feel good about yourself because of who you are. May you have peace in your mind, and have a sense of calm. May you bring more peace into our world because of who you are. And we all say, Amen.
The door door, we protect this chain from generation to generation. The door of a door, our lips will praise your name. These lips will praise your name.
If we turn to the parents' blessing of our graduates, may I ask of all the proud parents to stand right now. And if you will look at our prayer books together and read this with me. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless all our children who are graduating from high school. May the Holy One protect and deliver them from all trouble and distress. May God favor them with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, bringing blessings to them and an enriching learning experience so that they can make a lasting contribution for the benefit of humankind. Wherever they may go, wherever they do, help them be true children of our people Israel, faithful to justice and truth, eager for knowledge and insight. May the study of Torah be sweet on their lips. Let us all say, Amen. Also tough.
Now I'm grown, the years have passed. I've come to understand there are choices to be made, and my life's at my command. I cannot have a future till I embrace my past. I've promised to pursue the challenge. Time is going fast, and the old shall dream dreams, and the youth shall see visions, and our hopes shall rise up to the sky. We must live for today, we must build for tomorrow. Give us time, give us strength, give us life. Give us time, give us strength, give us life.
Part of tonight's celebration, we want to also take a moment to install our new youth group board and to thank our outgoing Sisti Shir Shalom Temple Youth Board as well. And so we invite up those of members of the 2022-2023 board to come stand in gavel order up on the bima. You're going to be receiving a Shabbat candle from Rabbi Mike, who's going to hold that for each one of you. And we also invite up to stand between them the incoming board members for the 23-24 school year. And you're going to be grabbing a Havdalah candle. And if you happen to be both of those things, then you're going to grab both candles. One trick with those, we'll tell you in a moment.
New ones get Havdalah candles. Old board members get candlesticks. No one knows what I'm saying. Just listen to me, though. It's a well-oiled machine. I don't know. I'm just doing what Rabbi Daniel told me to do. I don't know, Jordan. I'm learning. Just help me. Hold me. Here. Yes. Okay. Sure. It's going so well. I know, right? It's a little worrisome. I'm with you in this, buddy. It's safer down here.
The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. I install you, Charlotte Brager, as president of SISTE.
Please hold.
Leadership is the capacity to transform vision into reality. Warren G. Bennis. I reinstall you, Ryan Melder, as Programming Vice President of SISTE.
Community is the human expression of divine love. It is where I am valued simply for who I am, how I live, and what I give to others. It is the place where they know my name, Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. I install you, Jordan Grand, as the Religious and Cultural Vice President of SISTE.
I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. Angela Davis. I install you, Naomi Zakalik, as Social Action Vice President of SISTE.
Yay!
Unity is strength. Where there is teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. Maddie Stepnick. I install you, Daniel Richmond, as Membership Vice President.
Leaders must encourage their organizations to dance to the forms of music yet to be heard. Warren G. Bennis. I install Aiden Aronoff, who's not here, as Treasurer of SISTE.
A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be. Rosalind Carter. I install Sophia Hawkins, who is also not here, as Secretary of SISTE.
We invite Evan Broad up to continue the service.
Love is a series of separations. At birth, an infant separates fully from its mother. Time, growth, maturity brings further separations. Havdalah is to teach us how to say goodbye to even the happiest times and prepares us for new roads and new experiences that makes life a little bit more interesting, exciting, and livable. May something of Shabbat in our informal and formal Jewish educations, meaning and message stay with us as we enter our future. May the spirit of Elijah the prophet help us realize that we have to lift all that we do to a higher plane of holiness and always be honest to the truths that we believe in.
Join me, Baruch atah Today's the day I take my stand. The future's mine to hold. Commitments that I make today are dreams from days of old. I'll have to make the way for generations come and go. I'll have to teach them what I've learned so they will come to know that the old shall dream dreams and the youth shall see visions, and our hopes shall rise up to the sky. We must live for today, we must build for tomorrow. Give us time, give us strength, give us life. Give us time, give us strength, give us life. Give us
Thank you again to Cantor and our song leaders for leading us tonight as well. I hope our seniors made you all very proud. And so, a beautiful group of our youth and our future. So let's hear it again for our seniors. We relish the relationships that we're blessed to have with our youth, with all of our families here. I was out of town and I wasn't here last week at Sunday night school, and I got text messages from seniors saying, really salty you're not at our last night of Sisti, Rabbi. And a colleague in New York said, they're texting you? Like, yeah, these are my kids. So we do. And the connections we have and the blessings that we feel that relationship and appreciate it. That we rabbis, Cantor, and our teachers who've been a part of this tonight too feel that as well. And it's really special. So for you parents and grandparents, I hope you're not just proud of yourself, but you feel good about your children and what you've created and who you're sending off into this world. And whatever they pursue, whatever they do. I like some of the words that I heard tonight as some of them talked about being a role model, because they've been role models for younger children at Temple and the connections they feel and the risks they've taken and the adventure they've jumped upon, which means so much to us. But it really is such a blessing that we get to have this time together. I want to thank Dave Goralnik, who's been running around with a camera tonight as well, who happens to be here as a proud parent of a graduating senior, but always has his camera. And the best pictures we have at Temple are often his that are online and stuff. When Dave was with us in Israel on the family trip this past winter, he came home with 12,700 photos for us. Fortunately, he sifted through and edited them before he sent them all to us, and they were awesome. So as our closing prayer, I ask us all to rise as we send us off with the Kaddish de Rabbanan, the blessing of our teachers, and the blessing of our journey.
For our teachers and their students and the students of the students, and for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say amen. We ask for peace and love and kindness, and let us say amen.
years, as we celebrate graduation, we'll be able to talk about the children who were in our preschool here as well. That our preschool will be moving home to Temple next year, as you see the construction happening. But that space will entail a lot of things at Temple. All of our SHORESH on Sunday mornings will be here at Temple, but we'll be able to have 2 services at once with additional sacred space, more adult learning and programming space, and things like that as well. So we're very excited about what's happening. Our social hall is being redone as well. And you might have noticed or seen that steel beam that is outside that will be lifted into our new structure on Wednesday at noon. If you want to come see that happen, or you want to sign the beam before it gets put up there, you can do that as well too. So you can be part of what we're making happen. So thanks for being a part of this special night at Temple. Join us for our own egg in honor of our seniors now.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu.
Thank you so much. You spoke beautifully. Really, I love what you wrote. Thank you. I'm looking forward to hearing great things. Yes, and I'll be back. I know.